closer. Here I will explain about my analysis and this final test sociolinguistic. The first, I will explain about external. In the external, there are several, namely, mutual intelligibility is which occurs when one community talks to another community, they can understand each other. If they don't understand each other, what is being said, it means they are speaking different language. Yang artinya adalah terjadi ketika satu komunitas berbicara dengan komunitas yang lain, mereka bisa saling memahami. Jika mereka tidak saling memahami apa yang diucapkan, berarti mereka berbicara menggunakan bahasa yang berbeda. Isogloss is one item in one dialect. Same term with slightly different pronunciation. For example, of hand in Indonesia and kokot in Dayak. The spoken words have the same meaning, but the pronunciation is slightly different. Yang artinya satu item dalam satu dialek atau istilah yang sama dengan pengucapan yang sedikit berbeda. Contoh, tangan dalam bahasa Indonesia dan kokot dalam bahasa Dayak. Kata-kata yang diucapkan memiliki makna yang sama, cuma pelafalan yang sedikit berbeda. Dialect boundary is also called a dialect line or dividing line between two different dialects. For example, in the Dayak Ahe and Dayak Bajare areas, they have similarities in speaking or dialect, then the dialects of Dayak Ahe and Dayak Bekati regions are different or don't understand each other. Yang artinya disebut juga garis dialek yang berbeda. Contohnya, di daerah Dayak Ahe dan Dayak Bajare memiliki kesamaan dalam berbicara atau dialek. Kemudian dialek Dayak Ahe dan Dayak Bekati sudah berbeda atau bisa disebut tidak saling paham. Dialect continuum is a continuous range of dialect or dialects spoken in several different dialects can understand each other, only the dialects are slightly different. But the dialect from island to another don't understand each other anymore. For example, speakers of the Dayak Ahe and Dayak Bajare dialects when communicating can still understand each other what is being discussed. Only the dialect and are different. That is because the areas of Dayak Ahe and Dayak Bajare are not that far away and there is intense interaction, so the speakers understand what is being said. Meanwhile, the distance between Dayak Ahe and Dayak Bekati is far away. They don't understand one dialect and the other. Artinya adalah rentang dialek atau dialek yang berkesinambungan yang diucapkan di beberapa wilayah yang berdekatan dan hanya sedikit berbeda antara wilayah tetangga. Penutur dialek-dialek yang bersebarangan bisa mengerti satu sama lain, hanya dialeknya yang sedikit berbeda. Tetapi dialek dari pulau satu ke pulau yang lainnya tidak mengerti satu sama lain lagi. Contohnya, penutur dialek Dayak Ahe dan Dayak Bajare ketika berkomunikasi masih bisa saling memahami apa yang dibicarakan, hanya dialeknya saja yang berbeda. Itu pun karena daerah Dayak Ahe dan Dayak Bajare tidak begitu jauh dan adanya interaksi yang intens, jadi penuturnya mengerti apa yang disampaikan. Sedangkan antara Dayak Ahe dan Dayak Bekati jaraknya jauh, jadi semakin tidak paham dialek yang satu dan lainnya. Dialect is a regional or social, temporal, and individual variety of language distinguished by pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary. Dialects are also used based on the user, depending on the speaker's is from and is also spoken in a particular place of a certain language group. Artinya adalah ragam bahasa regional atau sosial, temporal, dan individual yang dibedakan oleh pengucapan, tata bahasa, dan kosakata. Dialek juga digunakan berdasarkan penggunaan tergantung pada penuturnya dan dari mana penutur itu berasal, dan juga digunakan di tempat tertentu dari kelompok bahasa tertentu. The second, I will explain about internal variation. Phonology variation is a branch of linguistics or a field of study that focuses on the level of a sound, so that is produce various sounds and different pronunciations, so that is also occurs in actions or actions, such as the pronunciation of the sound of Dayak Ahe and Dayak Becare, where pronunciation is slightly different. For example, for the word tao, the Dayak Becare people pronounce the word with the letter L in the middle of the emphasis, the letter L, so it sounds clear when pronounced or pronounced, yang artinya adalah cabang linguistik atau bidang studi yang berfokus pada tataran suatu bunyi sehingga menghasilkan bunyi yang beragam dan pelafalan yang berbeda. Dengan demikian, hal itu terjadi pada logat atau bunyi aksen, seperti pelafalan bunyi orang Dayak Ahe dan Dayak Becare, di mana pelafalannya sedikit berbeda. Contohnya, untuk kata tao, orang Dayak Becare melafalkan kata tersebut dengan huruf L di tengah pada kata tidak terdengar jika dilafalkan, sedangkan untuk orang Dayak Ahe, talo itu lebih menekankan huruf L sehingga terdengar jelas ketika dilafalkan atau diucapkan. Morphology variation is a branch of linguistics that studies various word structures but has the same meaning or meaning. For example, the words au in Dayak language and iya in Indonesia language, both have the same meaning, only differ in the word structure. Syntax variation is a grammatical variation based on the speaker, where the grammatical to be writing of or pronunciation must be included, even though the to be used occurs in the past or is happening, and or in singular or plural usage, yang artinya adalah variasi bahasa berdasarkan penutur secara gramatikal atau tata bahasa, di mana di dalam penulisan atau pengucapan gramatikal to be-nya harus disertakan meskipun to be yang digunakan terjadi di masa lampau atau yang sedang terjadi, dan atau dalam penggunaan singular dan plural. Semantic variation is a branch of linguistics. Semantic variation is a branch of linguistics that pays attention to meanings and meanings in various languages. For example, lemai in Dayak Ahe language, ayamai in Dayak Becare language. yang artinya merupakan salah satu cabang ilmu linguistik yang memperhatikan makna dan arti dalam ragam bahasa. Contohnya, lemae dalam bahasa Ahe, Daya Ahe, dan ayamae dalam bahasa Bejare. Next, I will explain the concept of bad language. Next, I will explain the concept of bad language in my culture in my Dayak language is asu kau kua, and in Indonesia language anjing kamu tu. This language is one of the utterance when emotions are out of control, because they see people around who have no manners. And I will explain short movies with number 2. In my analysis, short movie that is 2.5 years have passed since the end of Naruto's long adventure. He had trained hard with Jiraiya Sama and had returned to Konoha to reunite with his. And I will explain short movie with number 2. In my analysis short movie that is 2.5 years have passed since the end of Naruto's long adventure. He had trained hard with Jiraiya Sama and had returned to Konoha to reunite with his friends. But Akatsuki, the organization that had threatened Naruto years before, was on the move again, and this time Naruto wasn't the only one under threat. With a monstrous Akatsuki organization looming before him, Sasuke is still missing, and struggling with the base hidden in constant combat. Will Naruto's hard-earned improvement be enough? Join Naruto. Sakura, a new friend, and other old gang members as the action heads up with new techniques and stronger enemies. I will analysis about second 20,000 20 prudential. I will analysis about second to 20,020 prudential debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. That is, the candidates allowed each other to speak. They used respectful tones even when they went on the attack. They did so in a calm, deliberate manner. After a pugnacious first debate, during which Donald Trump's constant interruptions may have cost him support in subsequent opinion polls, the president has very visibly dialed down the volume, and it made him a much more effective debater. This time, the content of what the candidates are saying might be what the American public remembers from the debate, not the chaotic manner in which it was delivered. Once again, Biden largely held up under fire, avoiding the kind of gaffes and stumbles that could have played into Republican attempts to question his age and mental acuity. The Trump campaign will try to make an issue out of Biden's calls for a transition from oil-based energy, a risky thing to throw in at the tail end of the debate. In an era of high cars and energy-efficient homes, however, when even petroleum companies employ similar language, it may not hit Americans as hard as Republicans imagine. Uh, and the next, I will analyze indigenous language level of vitality, that is Dayak Kanayan, Dayak Kanayan. And the next, I will analyze indigenous language level of vitality, that is Kanayan Dayak speak Ahe or Nana as well as Damea or Jare and allied language. Is Isologically, the line connecting similarities and difference in allied vocabulary. It is very difficult to detail the treasures of the language. This is because the language used is full of various dialects and also pronunciation action. Some examples are the Kanayan Dayak, people who live in the Meranti or Landa region who use the language Ahe or Nana, which is the Kanayan Dayak in the Menyuke or Landa area are divided into Satolo Ngalampa, Songga Kauhi Ngalampa, and Angkabak Ngabukit. Besides this, the mixing of dialects and accent causes mixing of language into a new language. Many of the Dayak Kanayan generation today don't understand the language used by the older generation. In today's communication, many Indonesian vocabularies have been adopted and then Dayak kan, for example, Ahe native language, Ahe Indonesian, like Ahe language now Saparati